Nerf this!
Hey guys, welcome back to Clash with Corey. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. I do my best to answer all those. And take a look at the details of my videos when you get a chance. I've got a lot of great resources for you in there. We got links to my private Discord server if you want to hang out with me. We got links to WHF's recruiting Discord server if you want to join the WHF family or just want some info about how to go about that. We've also got links to WHF's live streamer, CarbonFin. So go ahead and follow him on Twitch if you want to get notifications when we're in war live. A lot of times, especially for CWL, he's covering that. So if you want to see that action as it's going down, go ahead and follow him on Twitch. So with that, let's get into today's video. It's going to be about dragons again because they're working. All right, in the last video, in the 12-pack video, I told you, hey, Mad Ravens managed to 6-pack this twice in 2 wars. This is obviously a reliable strategy on these types of bases. And now we've got other people that are coming in using this dragon attack as well and finding a lot of success with it. So I'm going to say my earlier assessment was right. On these types of bases, it is a very consistent attack. So what is the base type? Let's cover that again. Basically, the first thing you're looking for is going to be these 2 little groups of air defenses, 2 separate groups. 1 or 2 diagonal tiles apart is just fine. And you get those 2 separate groups, and what you're going to do is you're going to zap quake one of those groups, all right? And then basically you create a funnel for your dragons. You get your dragons in there with some loons. You use a rage and sometimes a freeze to get through the first inferno. All right, the last set of air defenses should be easily accessible from the edge, so you can use a hound and some loons to get into that. And then you're going to use a blimp full of loons to direct target that second inferno. That's the general formula we're going with here on these bases. But the main thing that's really important is you got to find these 2 separate little groups of air defenses so that you can zap quake 2 of them at a time. So we got Credit, aka King Tut, going in here on this attack. Got 2 lightning spells down so far. Hasn't used his quake yet. Let's get that quake in there and see. There we go. So it takes out that whole section. Other than the storage, that doesn't really matter. Except for funneling. Might matter a little bit for funneling. Now he's going to use a minion and a goblin to get rid of that gold storage quickly. And a baby dragon to help funnel from the other side in as well. So we're going to see heroes come down in a minute to cut in the other side of the funnel to get those dragons starting into the base. There we go. There comes the king and the queen down on the screen there. Like I said, just over there on the top, cutting in that other side of the funnel. If you just dump dragons, they're going to go all over the place. They're not going to stay concentrated. They're not going to be effective. So he sends in that blimp right behind those dragons, right for that first inferno. So this is a little different formula than what we've seen Mad Raven do. Or, maybe same formula, just a little different order. So he doesn't quite pop that blimp in time. So you see, this is not a perfect attack. This one's kind of messy, and it still works. All right? They're really strong on this type of base. It's really pretty crazy. So, alrighty, all of his max loons are down already. They got out in front of the dragons there, and they took some heavy fire, and so those ones are already down. But he's got his lava loon portion coming in on that bottom set of air defenses right there. And those loons should cut over. Oh, no, they're not even going to go to that single target. Wow. Wow. So I should show you how tough this attack is on these types of bases, because just from looking at this execution here, it was not. I don't think it was the way that he was hoping it would play out. But he still crushes the base. You know what I mean? Crushes the base. He overshot the first Inferno with that blimp, so he was hoping to take those out with the max loons there. Didn't happen. Dragons ended up taking it out anyways. You know what I mean? Didn't really have much of a plan for the back Inferno, except hoping some of those loons would come over there and get it, which they did eventually. But still, in spite of all those hiccups, he's got 4 dragons and probably 8 or 10 loons left up. Base is crushed. Base is gone. That's how powerful this attack is on these types of base. Now don't come back and be like, hey Corey, you told me this was a reliable attack. It didn't work for me. I told you it was a reliable attack on these types of bases. And you know what I mean? You got to execute it well as well. Obviously not that well from that one, but you know what I mean? It still works. But so if you're coming back, hey man, that dragon attack doesn't work, man, you're probably trying to do it on bases that it shouldn't be done on. So let's look at this other example that King puts down on this base right here. So once again, we got two separate groups of air defenses. So instead of going right between these air defenses, he's going to go over to the side a little bit. He's also going to get rid of the cannon and the bomb tower. Why is he getting rid of a cannon and a bomb tower? They can't shoot air troops. You're right, they can't. But when you get rid of those buildings, it creates a better funnel for your dragons, a wider space there where the dragons are not going to cut across. They're going to stay focused in the area that he wants them focused on by getting rid of those buildings as well. Excuse me. So he didn't need all three lightnings to get his objectives there, and so you could see him kind of pausing to think, what should I do with this other lightning? He's like, I'll just get rid of that cannon the rest of the way for the funnel. So looks like if they're that close together, two lightnings and a quake is definitely more than enough to take him out. So those have one tile between them, and it's not even a diagonal tile. So remember, the sideways, those tiles are not quite as wide as they are diagonally, so that factors in. So now, once again, we got heroes coming down on the other side, cutting in that side of the funnel, and dragons coming in between. He's going to send some loons over here and haste them through, trying to direct target them. Once they get done with those defenses, trying to get them to go into that single target inferno right there. Unfortunately, he hits two black bombs, so I don't think he's going to have quite enough loons to get that inferno. Also, the CC is going to come out and really not help the situation at all. So this one definitely didn't go perfect as well, you know what I mean? But he's still going to get it. So he's got his blimp coming in. That final section of loons. Oh, you know what I just realized? He did not bring a hound on this for that section. He brought in his blimp full of loons on the backside with some other loons behind, kind of instead of the hound. So you can definitely play with this army composition a little bit, just like any army. You know what I mean? Adjust it until you have something that's going to work. So at this point, thin it out a little bit. He's got 3 dragons left and 4 or 5 max loons. But they're no longer having to fight that sweeper, so that's pretty nice. Got a queen coming around the other side, cleaning up as well. Nice. She's going to take out that wizard tower so that it doesn't have time to wreck all those loons. And, you know what I mean? A little slow on the cleanup here, but had enough. So, you know, let's go over those objectives again. I'm going to see if I can summarize them for you. First of all, you need to find bases that have 2 separate little groups of air defenses that are fairly close together, zap quakeable. You know what I mean? Whether it's 2 lightnings in a quake or 3 lightnings in a quake. Also, here, let's look at this again. Let's look at this base again that he just did. What base was it? Come on. Oh my gosh. All right. Where are you at, King? There we go. So, we got the 2 different groups of air defenses. You know what I mean? You should be able to zap quake one of them, and the other one should be easily accessible from the edge. For usually, Hound Loon is what we see coming in to get that last set of air defenses, but he managed to pull it off without a Hound Loon this time, and just brings a blimp full of loons with some other loons behind that blimp, kind of using that blimp as a lava hound, if you will, going in there tanking for some loons behind, and then pops out more blimps as well. So, also a possibility depending on your base. So that's what you need out of the air defenses. And once you zap those air defenses, you have to be able to plan your funnel. Where are your dragons going to be going? How are you going to funnel? Usually you're going to funnel the other side of that with your heroes, all right? There's still going to be some buildings left on the outside, so use a minion, goblin, or baby drag, or wizard, depending on what can reach it, what's going to work, to cut in that side of the funnel so you're not losing dragons around the edge, okay? So you cut in that side of the funnel over there, you cut in the other side of the funnel with the heroes, you send your dragons in with usually a couple rages for that portion, and you definitely want to rage dragons with a few loons behind them through that first inferno. And generally, you're going to come in at that second inferno with a blimp full of max loons, direct target it, so plan out your line from the town hall there, how you're going to get to that, and then you're taking out that last section of air defenses with hounds and loons as well. I don't recommend using this attack if you haven't practiced it at all. I would recommend cooking this army and having someone in your clan throw out bases that have these kinds of air defenses so you can practice the timing on it. That's definitely going to be helpful. You know what I mean? You want these troops to come in at the right time and help each other. other. You know what I mean? Your blimp should be coming in at a, you know, obviously not first, otherwise it's not going to make it to the single target. That blimp's got to come in after your dragons have already been in there a while, already been raged usually, you know what I mean? So some of those air bombs are taken out, a lot of those defenses are taken out. That way your blimp can get to where it needs to go in the base. You know what I mean? And then you want your hounds and loons coming in at the proper time too. You know, you need your dragons in there, blimp in there, hounds and loons coming in at the same time. That way they're getting some value from tanking already, from that blimp, from those loons, from those dragons. By the time you bring your hounds and loons in, there's not a whole lot that's going to be firing on them other than probably those air defenses. So work on the timing, cook the army, but if you're seeing bases with these two separate little groups of air defenses here, this is a very viable attack. In fact, I'm going to say it's a very strong attack on these types of bases. So with that, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to start practicing this attack, because every war we see at least a few bases that have this general setup, two different groups of air defenses. So I'm going to start practicing this attack. I'm going to let you guys know how it goes. If I get an opportunity to use it in War and Triple, you guys already know that's going to make it in a video. You know what I mean? And, you know, I hope you guys liked the video. I definitely enjoy covering dragons because it's such an unusual attack. It hasn't been in the meta for a really long time until maybe now. You know, they buffed them again, and Mad Raven came up with this great strategy for these bases. So thanks again, Mad Raven, for sharing that strategy with us, and congratulations again on your promotion to WHF2. Best of luck to you to keep moving on up the WHF family. Hope you guys liked the video, and I will see you in the next one.
Nerf this!